1 second. Yeah. So let's start today the TypeScript. So now here we have seen about yesterday we have seen the scenario how we can the TypeScript typing thing how it can do so overcome with the JavaScript. We have seen it, right? Now let's try to see what are the different data types in the TypeScript that it supports. So we know in the JavaScript, so we have the data types like, let's assume we'll have number, string, boolean. These are all the things, object, and we also have the arrays. These are the main types which we types in the JavaScript. The TypeScript also supports these all the data types. Apart from this, it will also support some of the data types. We'll try to see. So apart from this one, so some more data types also it will support TypeScript where JavaScript doesn't support. We'll try to see. So first we'll try to see how we can declare the data type and all those things in a TypeScript. We'll try to show you one by one. Let's say that normally in a JavaScript you will have let a is equal to, I will try to create a file. yes6.js, and here I will create let a is equal to 10. So normally we will create a variable and we'll have a is equal to 10. So normally if I want to do a is equal to, I can do like this, and I can do console.log of a. So this is completely normal. Okay, what we are trying to do here, we are trying to tell that a is equal to 10 and a is equal to, so I am overriding the value a from number to string. Now it is of type, so now a is string and console.log a, so we are able to see the output. So that means we cannot determine the data type of this variable. So now if I ask you that what is the value type of value that the a variable holds, means you cannot tell me clearly that it sometimes it holds the number value, sometimes it will hold the string value. So like this you will be having, so we cannot determine this one. So now, so this creates some problems for us. For example, let's say that I want to apply a plus 10. Okay, console, I want to add a plus 10. So that means I want to add some number, I want to increment that value a value to the 10 value. So that means I will try to do a plus 10. So now this one will work here? Obviously this one will not work. Why? Because first time a is equal to 10 is there. Okay, a is equal to 10 is there, and first time a is equal to 10 is there, and second time, so second time if you try to see, the a value has been override with the string value. So then what I am thinking here in the JavaScript, I am trying to write a is equal to a plus 10, that I am assuming that a value is still 10 and I am trying to add the value with 10. So what is the problem here it is coming is, now the problem what it will come is, if I try to do the console.log a, it will try, instead of adding the 10 value, it will try to append it. Why? Because a value is a string. So this creates a problem. So now the JavaScript cannot able to tell you the answer, so tell you the output that a is a number or not. So this creates some errors in the real time. So when you are trying to do real time big projects in the compile time itself, now the problem we are able to see that a cannot be added. So why? Because a now at present at this line a holds a value, at this line a holds a value that is string. Okay, that is string. So a holds a value that is, at this line a holds a value that is string. So now, so this creates a problem. So when it comes to the TypeScript, so these are type of things we can overcome using the data types. Let's say let's go to this one main.ts file and I will try to do it. Same thing. I have implemented a is equal to 10. Okay, So now while implementing only, I will tell this data type of this one. So what I can do is data type of this one is a number. So I have created and I have told that data type of this number is 10. So data type of this number is 10 or otherwise some x variable. Okay. So I am telling that x variable, I am telling that the data type, the value that it hold is a number. So fine. Now what I will try to do here, I will try to assign a string value. Same thing what I have did it. Now what I will try to do is x is equal to x plus 10. If I try to do this one, and I will try to do console.log of x. So this is the scenario I have did. Now if you try to see here at the x value, you are able to see some error line. So for example, if I try to compile this one, npx esc main.ts. Okay, if I try to do it, now you will get an error here. If I try to show you, is able to compile it, but you will get here in the editor, it is showing you a red color line that we don't have a configuration file. So that is the reason it is compiling. If you have a configuration file, it will throw you an error. So here we are able to see some red color line below, and it is telling you that size So now here you will be able to see at the x value. So you are able to see an error that it is saying that type string. So you are trying to assign a string to the type number. So you are getting an error that x is a value which stores the value which stores the type number, but you are trying to reassign that value to the string. So it is throwing an error here. So view problem, here you will be able to see that type string is not assignable type number. So now TypeScript will give you an option that, so here I can conformally add a number with 10, assuming that x is always a number. Okay, so before this line, any logic, so here if there is any logic implementing, and if any logic is going on into one, so we can make sure that the x value always holds the number value. Okay, so that I can do the multiplication. I can do it. So this is how the TypeScript gets benefit with the JavaScript. Here the JavaScript, whatever the things you want, so you can do it. You can do on your own. So but the consequences and all those things you need to face it whenever any error occurs and all those things. But here in the main.ts, in the runtime only, in the compile time only, what it is trying to say, it is telling you the error directly that x is not assignable to the string. By this way you will be alert that okay, x value holds the number. So here I should not assign a string value, I need to assign some other number. So now the error has gone away. So this is how the TypeScript is a strongly typed language. So mentioning whenever you are trying to declare a variable, it will make you to give the data type also. Okay, so this is how will be. So declaring a number variable, what I can do here, I can do x of type number is equal to 10. So now x is value of 10. So I can do whatever the manipulations I want, I can do it. Now another data type which I want to tell you is, so number we understood, right? So number means anything it will store. So 10.6 or anything. Okay, anything it will store. Number, we have only number. There are no integer, float or something like that. In JavaScript, number means here is also its number only. Next one is a string. So let's say that name of type string. So this holds the value of string. So I can do Leela. So now this is the number I have declared it. Okay. So let's say that I am having a name. Let's keep it like this only. Okay. So let name is So if you try to see here, name of string Leela is there. So now let's say that, so don't bother about this one. So because of this editor and all those things, it is telling that already you are using name and all those things. So somewhere it was declared, it seems it is trying to throw an error. So don't bother about this. So now we have declared a name, or otherwise we can say that employee name. The employee name of string Leela. So we have a, so we are mentioning, we are creating a variable and we are defining the data type of this one, and we are keeping that name as Leela. Now if I try to do employee name is equal to 10, this will raise a issue. Okay? So if I try to do console.log of employee name, so this will raise an issue. What it is trying to say that, so you are trying to assign a number which is not assignable to type string. So now, so that means employee name will force us to give only the string value, not the number value or object or anything. So for example, if I try to give the boolean, so then also you will get an error. So like this it will throw you. So what is the benefit of this one is, now if I want to apply any string manipulations, you keep dot here. So here you will be able to get an intelligence in a such a way that whatever the methods are there for this string value, so you will be able to get all those things. So to uppercase starts with slice, replace, repeat, pad start, pad end, match, length, all the things are there for the variable. So for the variable, so whatever the string characters are there, all the things will be suggested for it. For example, if I want to use something like map thing, map will not exist for it. Map is existing for the arrays. Now it will throw an error that property map you cannot apply on the type string. So by this, so we will be so much confidence in our code that the variable, whatever the methods we are trying to apply, we know that employee name is an array, so we can apply the map. Here employee name is not a string, it is automatically TypeScript is saying that you cannot apply a map for this string. So if you want, you can apply split or something like this. For example, let's say that I have applied a split for this one, and I changed this one to number, okay, and I have did this one as 10. Now immediately you will get an error. Why? Because split is cannot we cannot apply on the type number. Why? Because split is applied only for the string. So like this we are able to see the problems at the runtime only. Okay, so at the runtime only we will be able to see the issues, whereas in JavaScript, so everything is acceptable. If I try to do this one, a dot split, if I try to use it, okay, so everything is works fine, so not a problem. So it is, everything is works fine. So it is up to you, it is up to you. For you need to check these all the things, that if type of a is equal to number only, then string only, then only do the split. Like this you need to write all the conditions in a such a way that you need to take all the response. Now here a is equal to 10, and if you try to apply the split, JavaScript it will throw an error in the browser itself. But here in the main.ts we are making sure that this should be a string, and nowhere we are assigning this employee name to the number value. So this is the benefit of using this TypeScript. So it's a strongly typed language. So whatever the value you are trying to store, it will remain the same up to end of the thing. Same like Java.NET, like that. So in the same scenario, we can also have the boolean value also is available of type boolean. I can keep boolean is equal to true. I can keep it like, so this is also valid. Now if I try to do, so it can take only true or false, but it will not take is available as 23 or something like that. It will not take. So again you got an error. See, so type number is not assignable to boolean. So this is how, so we can do it. Okay, so don't think that 0 and 1 are true and false, it will take. So don't think like that. It will take only true or false only. 1 means it's a number 1 only. So boolean also is accepted in the TypeScript. So these are the primary things. What I can say is, so these are the primary things, primitive data types. What I can say is number, string, boolean. So like this we can apply it in the TypeScript. So next one comes is the type inference. I want to tell about the concept of type inference. Now you understood about how we can declare a variable in the TypeScript. So now you will be able to understand. Now if I now what I want to tell is, Now what I want to tell is about the type inference. So let's say that I am having let x is equal to something like this. I have set it. Okay. So now what I want to try to do, so x dot map, I want to apply x dot map for this one. Okay. So now still it is able to show me the error. I haven't declared anything, so I haven't told anything that whether it is a string or anything. So I haven't tell anything. So I did not tell anything that x should be string or anything. But here this is called as a type inference. That means the TypeScript is smart enough at the time of the whatever the value. So at the time of initialization, whenever you assign a value to that one, it will able to understand. It is able to understand that x value you are assigning a string. So if you hover here the variable on the variable x, it will able to understand that okay, x he has assigned a string value. So I can make this x data type to the string value. So going on, to try to assign any number or anything, for example, if I try to assign x is equal to 10, it will throw an error immediately. Okay, so x here, when you assign it automatically, there is no need for you to tell it is a string. Automatically it will, by value that is that has been assigned, it is able to recognize that okay, x value holds the value of string. So throughout the code I can assume that x value holds the string value. So this is called as type inference or type injection, whatever the thing. TypeScript will able to realize that one. So without having to write this all x string. So this is also valid thing only, but the smart way, instead of telling explicitly by you, by the developer, by seeing the value, automatically TypeScript can assume that x value holds the string value. Okay. Now I will try to show you another scenario. Let's say that I have created x. Okay. Now I will try to do x is equal to some value. So now x value is holding the string. So you can assume that x is of data type string. Now what I will try to do, x is equal to 10, and I will try to do console.log of x. Now if you try to see, nowhere the TypeScript is showing the error. Everything is fine. So without any red line, you are able to see no red lines or anything. It is not showing any errors. So what is the scenario here? What is happening here? At the first time initialization only, you are not assigning any value to this one. So now TypeScript cannot assume that the data type of this x variable. So here variable x implicitly has an any type. So this is any is another data type. I will try to tell you, but a better type may be inferred from the usage it is telling. So now any means any value it will take. Okay, any data type it will take. So now at the time of initialization, you have not assigned any value. TypeScript is not that much smart enough that immediate assigning of the variable, so it should take it as a first one. So it should take it as a data type. We cannot assume it. So now here if you try hover, so x, if you try to see, x is of type any only. At the time of initialization only, x has to decide the data type. Now here it cannot assume, it cannot decide the data type of that one. Why? Because there is no value assigned to this one. Because of this reason, so x has been assigned as any. TypeScript will assign this data type as any. When this any has been assigned, so you can any means anything. You can store any value. X is equal to like this, or x is equal to 10, or x is equal to, you can store arrays. So anything if you want, you can store it. So no problem, nothing, no errors will come. But when you assign this one as a string, everything will go away. Okay, now you got an error. See, so x, this one you didn't got an error, and here if you hover, so you'll be able to see an error that x number cannot be assigned to the string. So when you are initializing the variable, better try to add the data type. Okay, so when you are assigning the value at the time of initialization only, so there is no need to mention the data type. Why? Because it will automatically take this assigned value type as a data type. So this is the called as a type inference. So this is also one of the concepts that you need to understand in the TypeScript, that at the time of initialization, whatever the assigned value is there, it will take it as a default, and so that it will remain the same thing as you proceed on to the code. But when you initialize the variable but you didn't assign any value, then the problem comes that it will assign the data type of any, and whatever the value you will say any value, it will store it. Not a problem. Sorry. So this creates a problem. Again, this became the JavaScript type of code. We are not using the flavor of the TypeScript functionality. So this is about the TypeScript data types. So now type inference. Now you understood about the type inference. Let's say that. Let's go to the another concept. Now we understood about declaring x is equal to 10. So we know that let y is equal to some value, and also I can do let z is equal to true. So now you, by seeing these three things, you will be able to understand that x holds the value of number, y holds the value of string, and z holds the value of boolean. Now if you hover here, you'll be able to see x is of type number, and y is of type string, and z is of type boolean. So these three are like this. Then what about the object? So how can this object, or otherwise first we'll see about the array. So what about the array? So how can I do? For example, let's say that let hobbies equal to, I will store some values that quotes thing. Okay. Now here the hobbies, what it is trying to say is having an array, and that too array it is having string of arrays. Now if you hover inside the hobbies, you will be able to see that it is holding a string and the square brackets is there. So that means it is an array. So that means it is an array which holds the string values. So for example, let's say that let hobbies, okay, I am not initializing anything, I am not assigning any values, I am initializing. Now I want to make this hobbies as an array. So how can I do this one? So I can tell something like string of array. Okay, that's it. So now you will be able to understand that. Okay, so if you mention only string, it will hold only single value. But if I assign array, so it will hold, it will be an array which holds the multiple string values. That is the declaration of this one. Now here I can say that hobbies equal to, so I can add whatever the data I want, I can add it here. Okay, like this I can add. Now what I will try to do is hobbies dot push of 10. I will try to push it of 10. Now I am trying to push the 10 value into the hobbies. So now immediately we got an error here. Why? Because the hobbies array holds only the string values. Okay, hobbies array holds only the string values. But here what is happening? The hobbies array. So what it is happening? So we are trying to insert the number value into the hobbies. Okay, we are trying to insert the number values into the string. So that is the reason it is throwing an error that you are trying to push the value number which is not assignable to the type of string. So this hobbies holds the string values, array of string values, but you are trying to push a value which is not a string, it is a number. So that is the reason. So TypeScript has thrown an error. So like this we have the type definition. So for example, let's go to the main.js. In the JS file, let's say that I am having a hobbies, okay, and you will try to do something like this, okay, and here I can do hobbies dot push of, I can push 10, and also I can push string, I can push whatever I want. So this array can have a mixture of different data type values, so that the hobbies, we cannot assume that what are the type of values that hobbies will be holding in the JavaScript. Why? Because it is a dynamically typed language. Whatever the data type value you want to push it, you can push it. Whereas in this TypeScript, it is a strongly typed language. If you have mentioned hobbies of type string, means you not push the number value. Other than string, if you push any value, it will throw an error. That is how we will be declaring the arrays in the string. So now looping over the arrays. Okay. Now looping over the arrays, how it will be, I will try to show you. Looping over the arrays, we know that for let hobby of hobbies. You can use the same thing, and here I can use console.log hobby, or otherwise if I want to apply hobby. So now what I am trying to do here, I am looping over the hobbies array. And here the hobby, okay, this hobby is so if I want to apply hobby dot split of, if I want to apply hobby dot split, so here see it is showing an IntelliSense that, so these are the methods that can be applied to a hobby. Why? Because if I try to console.log hobby, okay, now if I try to console.log hobby, if we hover this hobby, it is telling that hobby is of type string. So TypeScript can able to understand easily that. Why? Because hobbies are an array of strings. We are taking one value each time while looping. So that means one value means it is of type string only. So that is the reason it is able to understand that hobby is of type string. Now whatever the string manipulations you want to apply here, like this one, hobby.split and all those things, you can apply it without any problem. But if you want to apply map or anything, means everything will go away. Okay, try to see here, map cannot be applied on the string. Why? Because we know that hobby stores the string value, and here we cannot apply the map. So whatever the things are applied to this, what I can say, erase method, so we cannot apply to the string thing. Okay, so this is how the arrays will be declared in the TypeScript. So the last one, what I want to tell you is the object declarations. How we can declare an object. Let's assume that I have a person. Okay, so name of type Leela. Okay, country I can take it as India. Okay, so let's say, okay, so I can take job something like web developer or anything, I can take it. So these are the details of this guy. So now if you try to console.log person, okay, let's try to do it, console.log person. Now what could be the data type of this one? If I hover this person thing, you will be able to see the data type. It was assigned something like object only. Instead of having key and value, it is having something like key and type. Let's say that we know that this is an object. Let's try to apply an object here. Know that this is an object, right? Know that this is an object. So we'll apply the object only for this one. Fine, it's completely normal, it's fine. Now what I want to do is, I want to use the name here. Okay, now I want to use person.name. I want to print something like person.name. Immediately name thrown an error. Why? Because name does not exist on the type object. When you declare object generic, what I can say is general object is a generic one to a person, normal object. So any object doesn't have a name key. Okay, so this person is your customized object, but you have applied a data type of generalized object. So the generalized object doesn't have a key with name. So it is not correct to mention that it is a generalized object. What you can do is, you need to mention in a such a way that here it should contain, so the object, what are the keys it will contain? So name, and the type, what it string, semicolon, we need to keep semicolon, and the another one is a country, so string, you need to contain a string, and the another one is job, so this is also a string. Let's say that age, so you will get a number. Now here you will be able to see red color that you hover here person, so person object should contain these all keys. Okay, that is the reason it is telling that property age is missing. So you have declared name, country, job, everything is correct, but you have missed the age. Why? Because I have told to the declaration, while declaration I told that person should hold the keys of this type, and these keys should hold the value of number. So now I can assume that age is something like 33, 32. So now if I try to keep here, now we got without any error, so we are able to see the object. Now if I try to assign any string value here, immediately I will get an error that age is not assignable to. Why? Because age should be a number, and you cannot assign a string value to a number. That is the concept. This is how we will be declaring an object in the TypeScript. Now here name has gone away. So now here the red color mark, the error which is trying to show person.name, it has gone away. Now if I try to show you person, so if I try to keep it like this, Here see, you will be able to see the intelligence that age, country, job name. So these are the keys that it is having. If I try to keep job, so I'm able to get it. So for example, if I try to keep job as something like that, now the TypeScript will show an error that this person object does not contain the key job SD something like that. Whereas in the JavaScript, if I try to the same person, I will try to keep only the name as Leela. Okay, the person. Now what I will try to do, console.log person dot age. I will try to print person dot age. It will show it will execute the code without any problem. But when you are trying to run it at runtime, so you will get an error. In the compile time, it will not show any error for you. Whereas in the main.ts, whichever the age value. So for example, let's say that ages, I will try to access the ages. Ages property is not there here. Immediately it is throwing an error that ages property is not existing in this one. Please try to use age or something like that. But here if you try to use ages or anything also, it will accept. Why? Because it cannot able to understand JavaScript. But whereas the TypeScript can able to determine that what are the things it can be able to see. So this is how we will be declaring the object in the TypeScript. Arrays also we have seen it. Now the concept, now what I want to explain you is the concept which exists only in the TypeScript. So we have seen numbers, arrays, object. Okay, I will try to tell you some more scenario also, but we need to see how are the declarations, how we can declare the variables with its data types. We have seen the array. So this is all we have seen it. Now let's try to see the tuples. Okay, let's try to see the tuples. The tuples thing, what is a tuple? Let's say that we have an employee. I have an employee ID is nothing but 1. Let's assume that 1. And I have an employee name is of type Leela. Okay. So now in the TS I am trying to I am creating. So employee ID will hold a value of number and employee name will hold a value of string. Why? Because of this declaration, it will be able to understand that it can TypeScript can able to assign the data type to their respective variables. So that is common, we know. So now I want to create an employee array which consists of a combination of employee ID with an employee name. Okay. So if I want to get this employee details, it should be in such a way that employee should have should be a combination of employee ID and employee name. That means whenever I want to take Leela employee, okay, so Leela employee means, so first value should be always his ID and the second value should be always his name. So if I want to take any other guys, Krishna, so Krishna employee, if I want to take another variable, so first name always should be the ID and the second name should be his name. Okay, so this is how it should be. Now here you understood that. Okay, so what is the array type I need to assign it? So I need to assign it as string of like this, but immediately error will come that it will tell you that you are trying to add some value here. Okay, it is not a string. Shall I assign it a number? Immediately Leela will throw an error that this is not a number. In this array only numbers are allowed. So now how can I assign? So this is having some combination of things. So what I can do, but here I should not assign Leela here. All the time first one should be ID and the second one should be name only. So this should not be like this. Only the first one should be number and the second one should be a name. So that means first one should be always be a number and the second one should be always be a name. So like this. So if anything, if you want, you can add if you add anything, but this is the scenario I want to be. So here tuples come into existence that I can make something like array and the first one should be a number and the second one should be a string. That's it. So now we are telling that Leela employee, so create a tuple for this one, so that first value should be always a number and second value should be a string. Now if I want to assign something name at the starting and the ID at the second, means it will throw an error. Why? Because first value should be always a number and the second value should be always a string. Like this, I can force the user or the developer to have this employee array. Means I will be able to understand that employee Leela employee of 0 means it is an ID, and the second one it is an name. This is called as an tuple. So like this we can assign. So how many things you want, you can assign it. So I can have another string, or otherwise I can have a boolean, so that must and should, the third one should contain boolean. Okay, so that is like this. So this is called as an tuple. So another last one what I want to tell you is I don't want to go deeper into this types thing. One thing I will try to tell you, and I will close this types thing. While learning the Angular thing, you can learn more about these things. Let's say that I am having a person. Okay, I am having name, otherwise the employee. I am having an employee. It's an object, so Leela, and job. Okay, or anything. So I want to add the role. So role is something like admin. Okay, now I have another employee, that Krishna equal to, so I can have this. Okay, and I can do something like other or something. So now here we know that roles will be in a such a way that the roles, okay, roles will be, we'll be having three types of role. One is an admin, author, and a user. So these are the three roles only that will be existing in our project. So now what I want to do here, I don't want that user to add other than these three. So for example, if I want to add here like this something role, so which doesn't exist, we have only three types of roles, that is nothing but admin, author, and user. When you are trying to use this one, so this is normally valid, so this is trying to take it. Why? Because it is also a string value. So in this scenario, enums comes into a place where we can create at the top roles, and I can tell what are the roles available. So I can tell admin, okay, comma, author, comma, user. I can say like this. So now you can say here role, instead of using this one, I can do something like roles dot admin. Okay, and here I can do roles dot, so here you'll be able to see the three options, roles dot author. Okay, so like this you can use it, so that admin, author, and user will be able to assign it automatically. And here if you try to see the roles admin, if you hover here admin, so if you try to see here roles admin is equal to 0, so that means the value of this admin is 0. So that means here employee role, it is of type roles, and it will be an indirectly it is a value of 0, and here author is nothing but 1, and user is incrementally it is going that admin, author, user. So if I add another guy something like guest, so 0 1 2 3, guest will be 3. So like this incrementally it will be adding. For example, if I try to assign it as a 10, now admin is 10, so then what could be the other will be next 11, 12, 13. So that means whatever the first value you are having, so the second value, if you don't assign any value to this one, it will go on incrementally, it will go on. For example, let's say that I don't want this one, I want an admin. So now I have given it as a string. Immediately these three got an error. Why? Because so now there will be no incrementation. Admin means it is a string value. So now you need to assign the value to this. Each one you need to assign it. So you can assign your own values to this. So like this you can do it. This is the about the roles. Now roles.admin means nothing but instead of having this admin, so you can use something like roles.admin. Okay, so like this you can do it. So this is about the enums. So I don't want to go deeper into this one. So just I am trying to tell you what are the different types of data types available in the TypeScript. And let's assume that we have another data type that which I want to discuss with you, that is nothing but any. Let's say that I am having an x value of type any. Okay, Now if you declare this one as any, so I can store whatever value I want. So any itself you will be able to understand. So x is equal to 10, I can do anything. X is equal to, I can store the array values, whatever the thing. Okay, I can store like this. So now everything, this variable x, if you declare it as an any, everything it will appear as if you are trying to manipulate in the JavaScript. Everything will be like a JavaScript. You can do it. So using this any is not recommended using in the TypeScript. Why? Because so we lose the favor of IntelliSense and all those things. So that is the reason. So maximum, if possible, we need to avoid using this any data type in the TypeScript. Not use the any data type. Maximum we need to avoid it. 99% we need to avoid using this any data type. Not possible and all those things becoming a scenarios. So you can use it the any. So these are the different data types that are available in the, I can say, TypeScript. I will try to before closing I will try to tell you another data type, that is union. Okay, union type is also one of the important thing. For example, let's say that you have an x value. Okay, I want to store here 10. So somewhere I got some issues and I want to store the Leela value also. Okay, and I don't want to store the value of something like arrays. So I need to store this x value should take either number or string. Other than these two, it should not take anything. So for this reason, what I can do is, okay, it should take string and or pipe symbol we need to keep, or number. Okay, so like this. So now x is a value which will take either string or number. Now these two are valid. If I try to add something like x is equal to true, it will throw an error immediately. If you want a boolean also to be accepted, you can keep something like boolean. Okay, now boolean is also accepted. Now if you try to do array, so now it is not accepted. Why? Because it will accept either string or number or boolean. So that is the thing. Okay, so this is about the enum. So these are all about the different types of data types that are supported in the TypeScript. So in the next session, what we'll try to do is we'll try to see the classes, how the classes works in the TypeScript. I will try to show you important concept, TypeScript classes, and also the generics also I will try to do it. Then afterwards, most probably, so it's fine, we can continue starting the Angular. So these are the important things which you need to understand. So now, for example, let's say that I will try to do one simple example and I will close it. So we know that we have an add function. We already did this one. So it will take a of type number, okay, and b of type number, and I will try to do return a plus b. Okay, so now I will try to do add of console.log add of 1 comma 2. So this is the logic what we have did it. So this is entirely fine. Okay, this is entirely fine. Why? Because we are doing a 1 comma 2 and all those things. Now what I want to do is console.log add of, so I will try to do strings. I will try to combine the string. Okay, so something like Leela and I want to append my name, two names. I want to join my two names. Now here you got an error that a accepts only the number. So I am able to understand that, okay, for combining strings also we can use this one, or for addition also we can use. Then what I can do here, I can use that, okay, this is of type number of string, this is also of type number of string. This is the union type. Now these both parameters it will take it, but here you need to write a logic. You need to change the logic in a such a way that if type of a is equal to number and type of b is equal to number, then only you can return this one. Okay, so you can return, you can return a plus b. Else if it is not there means then you need to return a plus b. So now here you get an error that this one you cannot able to understand. So I am able to, it is telling that I am able to understand whether it is a string or a variable, string or a number. So you can do toString plus dot toString. I can use this toString. So like this you can do. Now the return type of this one is also either a number or a string. So number or a string. So like this we can use this one. So we can change it to combine or something. So like this we will be using in our unit type. That now if I want to send something like add other than number and all those things, that I want to send an array, comma 1, will throw a, this will throw an error. Why? Because it will take either number or string, it will not take the array. So like this we can restrict the arguments what we are passing to the function. In this real time we'll be using something like this in the Angular. In the next section we'll see about the classes and also the generics we'll try to see. Okay, this is all about this today's data type.